Claps are a problem when you have superpowers. Red Daughter is supposed to kill Kara. I probably should have led with that. Red Daughter kills Kara. No. I should have led with that. Telling Alex the truth could make her go insane. Brainy loses his boxes. Dreamer and Martian Manhunter are caught red-handed, and you picked on the wrong girl. Your life could mean so much, but instead you fly around in a cheerleader skirt. Hope, help, and compassion for all. That's what Supergirl really stands for. Take the grass, please. We are talking Supergirl Season 4, Episode 21, Red Dawn. The AfterBuzz After Show starts right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Did you know all things have sunlight? Did you know this? Did you know sunlight is in all things?
Yes, we are all one.
That was phenomenal. No.
You didn't know that? We are all one. Yes, yes. As Zach pointed out during the watch,
There's sun there.
We definitely went full Avatar on this episode. We did. And we're going to go full Avatar on this AfterBuzz After Show as we are talking all things Supergirl Season 4, Episode 21, Red Dawn. Allow me to introduce our illustrious panel. All the way to my left, we have the redheaded sensation. Heather Wake is in the building.
What up, guys? I'm actually only about like 80% sunlight, though, so...
You're only 80%, and the rest is 20% darkness. Yes, you are. And glad to have him back straight from Kasnia. Zach is here.
I am back, yes.
Zach attacked.
Not from Kasnia.
How was Kasnia? It was great? You had a good time?
It was dull.
Oh, was it? Because I would think with the fact that they're invading the U.S., it was probably pretty popping over there.
Or empty, maybe.
But then again, who cares what I think? I'm the host. My name is Tehran, and I will be hosting this little panel of ours. And all of you at home are part of this panel, too, if not as much more so than all of us. So keep those comments coming because we have a Swayze expert in the booth. Steven is taking care of those comments for us today. Hey. Today, we are talking Supergirl Season 4, Episode 21, Red Dawn. Breaking it down, Alex needs to know. Kara gets out. Lockwood finds out. Lena gets a gift on Mother's Day. Aww. Brainy has something to say. Wookiee Gambit. Brainy loses his little boxes. Bad Brainy, or should I say badass Brainy. Project Claymore, Paper Tigers, Red Daughter, Red Flag, that's for sure. Lex Luthor, hero? News and gossip special segment, Who You? Where we pick the scene that related to us the most, and of course predictions and much, much more. Let's begin with overall thoughts on this episode. Heather Wake, could you please enlighten us?
Who, me? Yeah, I mean, this was definitely one of my more favorite episodes as of late. And it definitely gave me Fern Gully feels at the end with all the light photosynthesis. I was like, oh yes, there's life everywhere.
You just had to do that throwback.
Yeah, feel into the trees, Kara. It's great.
Can you just keep it with the Avatar?
Trump.
Sorry, you're right.
She did one-upped. She one-upped your Avatar. You said Avatar. She said Fern Gully.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Red Dawn. I'm going to go with there's a Red Dawn feel to this episode.
That reminded me just of Red Dawn, you're right.
It did.
And as a Brainy fan...
The one with Patrick Swayze. I just want to make sure everyone knows. Please.
And as a Brainy fan, this was a great episode for all Brainy fans. I mean, kind of sad also since, he's gone, sort of.
A little cuckoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing today? Trying to take over the world. That's right. That's a Pinky and the Brainy flow. Anyway, Zach, what were your overall thoughts on this episode?
I enjoyed it. It's getting good. It sucks.
Only one more episode to go.
One more episode to go. Yeah, I know I haven't been here for the past 2-3 episodes, but was watching alongside of you guys and had to say I certainly enjoyed a lot of what was happening and, stories again wrapped up. Seeing the close of things, and it's more concise. I feel like getting to this point that we've all been waiting for, and tonight's episode got us that step closer.
Interesting. My overall thoughts are this episode was amazing.
We
finally got the show that we might not have deserved, but we all needed. Hold on. Is that how Batman says it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that this show was full of betrayal. It was full of hope. It was full of promise. It had great writing. It was funny. It was sad. It was adventurous. It was exciting. I enjoyed this episode immensely. We got everybody. We had Martian Manhunter. He's back. Dreamer. She's back. Brainy. That's my favorite character of all time right now. That Bad Brainy is amazing. Lena is closer to knowing Alex kind of figured it out on her own after Martian Manhunter John Jones gave this whole speech on how he closes the synapses on the synopsis and the synopsis on the synapsis. And then she said, well, you can't close the door on my sister. And then we, of course, found out that light isn't all things. That photosynthesis does not work the way we have been taught in school.
Hey,
and
if you can get energy from a plant, you can fire up brain synapses. Everybody
know,
knows this.
Supergirl is the Prius of superheroes. She just gets that energy from anywhere. Let's break this down and start it off with Alex Needs to Know. What did you think about that storyline? We have been asking for weeks. Why the mind wipe? Why are we even having this? And they gave us what we wanted. They removed the mind wipe.
Okay, so we are talking about the mind wipe being removed.
I believe that it was broken through.
It seems like she has broken through. The memories have come, and she's realizing, putting two and two together. But in the moment of the gravity of what was going on, I think it was just like, pump the brakes. Let me handle this one thing first. Yeah,
the chat is full of tears over it. They absolutely loved it. I liked it too, actually.
I liked her struggle. It was a good, lead up to finally, having her memories back.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the whole season of her, or not the whole season, but the segment of her,
or
half
the quarter
of
of a season, or what seemed like forever.
Yeah, because
of
the
Alex
witch hunt
not being in the know.
The witch hunt for Supergirl kind of just like went out the window after like 2 episodes, and it's just like, why is she still wiped? We're having this like useless plot being driven, which I would like to say the payoff finally paid off in this episode.
The payoff, I don't believe paid off.
No?
What it was this was amazingly well written and was a great scene. There was no buildup. That was the difference.
Right.
The buildup was, had this been a conflict throughout the other season, the other episodes, I think we have had this for about 6 episodes now. So if that was the payoff, if we had 5 episodes or even 4 episodes of Alex struggling with it, and then we get this payoff through the sensation, I'm losing my loved one, and that's what the cause was, that would be a payoff. Right now, what we got was a really good episode.
We got, I feel like, a condensed version of it, because in what you had just said, she even had that little diatribe about, the quick realization of Kara saying, oh, yeah, I had a sister. She's like, oh, well, then, yeah, you understand. It's like my heart is somewhere else. It touched my heart. I was just, like, pulling at the strings. I was
Do you
like,
have a sister, Zach?
I have a brother, a younger brother.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
If you had a sister, you would know. She said that like 5 times. Duh. That's what Alex said.
Heather, do you have a sister?
Oddly enough, my brother's
no.
name is Alex.
My parents thought they reached perfection the first time. So.
Interesting. That's well, it took us 5. So anyway, let's get to that. Let me hear your thoughts on the Alex Needs to Know.
I agree with Zach in that I liked the condensed version, I guess only since everything had gotten drawn out, and I at this point was like ready for the mind memory thing to be done. I thought it was kind of interesting that, Alex gains her memory, Brainy in a way loses his memory, so we're still like dealing with the memory swipe or memory wipe thing in some way. But leaving it to Alex, I mean, I actually kind of like liked the build up of the flashbacks too, of them being younger sisters together. I thought it was like a nice build up within the episode of leading up to that. I love the moment where I just thought it was a really nice performance too. I mean, Alex is always kind of like the heart of the episode a lot of times. If Kara isn't, Alex is, and she did a great performance, I thought.
Interesting. I'm going to have to disagree and say I don't feel like Alex is the heart. She's always the tough one, the badass, the one who's kind of there. There's a couple times where she's become emotional, but for the most part, the only time she ever becomes emotional is when it comes to Kara. And this was a perfect position where she was the heart, soul, and the emotional catharsis of this episode. We had this feeling through her acting. We felt like she had a connection to her sister. We saw the dream in the first part, and then upon seeing Supergirl in action, she realized that in a cape, the girl with the glasses, when she takes those glasses off, that's my sister. And it broke through, and it was fun, and it was exciting, and it was a bit emotional. There were a little bit of goosebumps.
I will admit, when she like, grabbed the plants and started like planting them on Kara. I was like, oh, come on. That's not going to work.
Please. Of course it's going to work.
She
I
did
know,
that
that
scene
was silly of
very
me.
well, though.
She sold it.
I
That
was
scene could have
convinced
been a
that-
silly scene, and it was not because of how it was portrayed.
Yes. All of her love for Kara, which has been a build-up for the entire multiple seasons. You've seen how much love she has for her. That's all I got to say.
Well, here's the thing. I hope that some plant enthusiasts don't say, well, why did we kill some grass for that scene?
Right.
That could be a thing. But take the grass, please. That makes you think. There is light in all things. Did you think Alex needed to know?
Oh yeah,
That's-
for the audience at least, for us to get back into some kind of homeostasis between Kara and Alex. Yeah, I was ready for this mind erase thing to be done.
wiped.
We had another DEO situation where someone else needed to know. Colonel Haley needed to know that President Baker was against them.
Yeah.
And she was on board fairly quickly. Did you guys enjoy that storyline?
I feel like her storyline's kind of just getting lost. You know, just kind of being tossed aside. Oh, she's off in Washington, or she's with her daughter, this episode. She came in really strong. I almost thought she was going to be a love interest for Alex. But now...
I still feel more chemistry between Haley and Alex than Jimmy's sister and Alex. Just gonna.
It's
Put that out there.
it's baking. It's gestating. Give it some time.
They're definitely in the friend zone. I'm really like, when you're just asleep, I'm like, there's a separation.
Right.
Let's just put a blanket on you, push it away. And I prefer that personally. I prefer them being friends. I don't need them to be forced. I don't need that.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going. I forgot
But
what I
the
was saying
Colonel
with
Haley,
Colonel.
we were talking about Colonel Haley. Did you
Right.
enjoy the way she came in and came on board? Before we
Oh,
would
how
have seen a
fast it
very
was,
reluctant
yes.
Colonel Haley.
Very much so.
But this
Yeah.
Colonel Haley believes it, and it has a lot to do with her looking into Project Claymore and not being able to find anything out. And then she finds out that the 6 scientists that worked on it, the 6 engineers, were all put to sleep with the shovel a couple weeks ago.
They're 6 feet under.
I kind of feel like when Colonel Haley first came in, as far as an antagonist go, it was like a little bit wobbly and weak. And I'm gonna say
Wobbly and weak. In what way?
in that she didn't seem like as much of a threat as she could have been. Maybe it was just compared to the other like villains everybody else was dealing with. And now that she's supposed to be an ally, she's also not as helpful either. So I'm just, long story short, kind of agreeing with you in that. Her
Are you
story's getting a
questioning
little
the
bit
fact
lost.
of why she even exists on the show at this point?
Yeah,
A little bit. Yeah.
Other than it's a connection to the DEO.
She was
that's not
supposed to be an
Alex.
antagonist, and she never antagonized, or not enough. She did a
Yeah.
couple times, and then it kind of got lost in the shuffle.
You know what it was? I think they tried surprising us with that whole I'm a badass, I'm going to be hard on you guys, but I do have a nice soft side.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should actually learn how to trust me. I can't remember what episode it was, but like Alex was surprised and she's like,
When they revealed the daughter.
I think that's what
her,
No, I
Haley.
think it was something else. She had mentioned that she's reasonable within reach. If Alex asks for something that's needed, she'll look at both sides and understand it. 9 times out of 10, it's the opposite of what Alex wants, but there's that one time. And
Well, it seems like it's been way more than 1 out of 10. It looks
now
like
it
it's,
is, yeah. I mean,
we're going
that's
4
the
out of 10 if
progression.
nothing
Yeah.
else. Because
That's
there's
the-
4 times
that's-
Colonel Haley has
Them's
given
good
in.
odds.
That's what the progression has been. It was really the antagonist hard ass, and now it's just really she's softening.
Yeah.
But I think that's also because she's been duped so many times, and it's just like, would you really believe the president would, the highest form would be, taking advantage of you? Like, she's put into this position at the DEO, so it's something hard to believe, I would think.
Well,
At
and
least
I
she
just
thought.
want to go to something Heather said. No, 4 out of 10 is not good odds. 56.3% would be some good odds, especially for what we deal with. And 56.3% of all of you at home leave comments. We'd be in a great position.
That would be a great position. You know what? I also have a few other suggestions as to what would be putting us in a great position. And I'm not going to do it with music. That's great. Okay. So, hey, guys, before we move on to our next topic, we just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. There it is. Haha. And for us to continue to grow, we could use your help. First, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Thank you very much. Then you could give us a rating on iTunes. How about that? Or you could leave us a comment. That would be wonderful. Thank you for being part of AfterBuzz. It means so much to us. I think we could say that if you did, we would love you 3,000. I know it's a little bit off topic, but you'll know what we mean. And thank you for supporting all of us in doing what we love.
I don't know what "Love You 3000" means.
Sorry, you'll get it. Don't worry.
It's a
and
Detective Pikachu reference.
I don't know what the Supergirl reference of "Love You 3000" means.
I said it
do
was
know
all-
that Brainy was going to try to tell Nia, "I love you," and did not get there. Let's talk
He
about
didn't even get to say,
Brainy.
"I love you
Brainy
3000."
had something to say. How
I
do you
love
feel?
that interaction between him and
John,
no, not John.
Lena.
Lena and who else was there? Alex. He's just like rattling things off, and I have to say I love her.
And I'm going to
they're
tell
just
her
like-
I love her.
Yeah, they're like, what? Okay.
Okay, all right. You go, girl.
Yeah, right.
I know. I do love that it was kind of like a nerdy guy telling a couple of girls that he's going to go profess his love to another girl.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
It was a very good moment. It's the Brainy that we've been accustomed to. It's not the Brainy that stayed around, but saying that he finally came to a decision to tell Nia that he is in love with her, and we all kind of anticipated and waited and hoped that it would happen, and it never came about. Oh my gosh, this unrequited love, is this a dragged out storyline, or we appreciate what they're doing?
I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be dragged out now.
You think it's dragged
yeah,
out?
the chat is kind of going wild with it. Like, does he love her still? Does he not? Is he not in love
He
with
has no
her?
emotion, so
he has
no.
no
Let's
emotion.
end
That's
that
what I
really
was
quick.
saying. Yeah, I was thinking.
There's a part of him. Maybe he will have an Alex 1% moment that blossoms into to 100. I don't know.
He said he's been rebooted, so essentially he's no longer the same Brainy.
No.
He's
become something different.
Well, I will say this, that I would have thought the storyline was dragged out if this wasn't the way they went about it, where we got Brainy. Now, that's a Brainy 3000. This is what we're talking. Brainy becomes a badass Brainy. I loved that storyline. I love badass Brainy. I love this guy. I've always liked Brainiac, and now I remember why.
Oh yeah.
Because
He's arrogant. He's just too smart.
Yeah, he should be. He's
know.
a 9th degree intellect. This is what a 9th degree
12th.
intellect, 12th degree intellect is supposed to act like.
I
Yeah.
do remember thinking before that whole incident, when they're planning the Wookiee Gambit thing, just thinking, like they have this highly intellectual asset, and yet it's still full of mistakes.
Well, that's the
And I
trope
was-
of CW shows. I mean, on The Flash, Barry Allen is like extremely smart scientist, and they just dumb him down.
Yeah, it's like you
completely.
can't be a good guy and be a genius, apparently.
No.
And now that they made him bad, it's like, oh, finally you get to be this.
A badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the same thing with John Jones. I mean, he's supposed to be extremely smart
Sure.
and extremely powerful, comparable to Superman, and he's just totally nerfed.
In what way?
John?
Yeah.
He just seems like a very weak character that's not utilized. Granted, I know it's the Supergirl show, and it's about her, but John just is off somewhere always when, like, push comes to shove and they absolutely need him. Like, he was scouting. He could have just went invisible, walked into the place and yeah, essentially do more for what he needed to do for that little outing, and they just have him fly off and hover.
Well, that's what it often happens. I can understand where
Yeah,
you're going.
it's
but
frustrating, but
are
I
we,
get
are we
why and where it
on
comes from.
board with badass Brainy, though? Do we
I am
prefer
very
him?
on board. Yes.
Oh yeah, at least I already miss.
Here's the thing: I'm on board with it because the way that they were going in terms of storyline
Mm-hmm.
was, let's say that reboot didn't happen and they did fall in love. That will essentially, if they do get together, will change the timeline, and that's what he's been trying to defend this entire time by not telling her like what her powers are and like about her people and all that stuff. And like, let's just say they did fall in love and got married. It just messes up whatever timeline because now Brainy stays in the past with her, and God knows what she becomes.
Well, it
instead
messes it
of-
up. It never comes to fruition because then he's never created, made, or born, or however Brainies are done.
whatever. Well-
and it doesn't go back in the past. Oh no, that's the wibbly wobbly truth about time travel.
So it's good that they did this now because it kind of makes everything back on track. They're not going to fall in love. She obviously has resentment for him. Obviously they're gonna come out with a win on this one. I would assume.
We shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see how it goes. Yes, Heather.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and kind of like what we mentioned with Colonel Haley, how her storyline and purpose sort of has gotten lost. I feel like if they had not had this turn with Brainy, his storyline, his place in this whole arc would also kind of fall to the wayside, and he would have the intellectual quip here and there and sort of help out with the way that he's been doing. Now it's, I think, a meatier thing to deal with.
I am on board with what you guys are saying.
Okay.
And I understand it, and I appreciate it, and I respect both of it.
Where's the
However, I don't care. I just like badass Brainy. I prefer badass Brainy, and badass Brainy's smarter, he's badder, and he's awesome. And I love, he took out Martian Manhunter, and you'll move again in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That's enough time for them to capture you.
Certainly
that
more efficient,
increases our odds. It's more efficient. It's dangerous for sure, but I like it. I like this guy. I also have a habit of liking the evil characters of the good characters.
It's true.
Because they are more efficient. And so, yes, for the time being, Bad Brainy is going to be my favorite. The way Brainy loses his little boxes, however, wow, that was a gut-wrencher. He gets tortured into it while trying to defend Dreamer.
Yeah, that was a crazy scene. And anytime they had those like torture chairs in like warehouses, I'm always like, why do they have these? Well,
to torture, to torture.
Particular
Just to
moment.
torture.
You
They
never
order.
know.
They actually, if you go on Amazon Prime, it's actually, if you type in torture chair, it pops right up.
I hope it's on sale.
Yeah, it usually is. It's a good thing. They
Props to
tortured
the
him.
actor. That was a very good scene.
It wasn't just a good scene. Actually, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it was extremely good acting. Jesse Rath held it down.
Yeah.
Killed it in
The
that.
changing from Brainy that we know to efficient bad Brainy, there was a difference in character. It wasn't just
There's
it was
multiple
tone.
characters there.
Yeah,
There was
definitely.
the mix between the bad and
Yeah,
Brainy.
the
There's-
rebooting
Yeah,
Brainy.
there's a wavelength of it. It was wild to see him, and it was an emotional roller coaster.
And-
The tears and just.
He wasn't the only one that had that roller coaster.
Nope.
The actor who plays Ben Lockwood, Sam Witwer, had to play a bit brainy before they got caught.
Oh, that was so
the
great.
Wookiee Gambit, that was excellent acting too. There are nuances to each character, and they nailed it.
I got a William Shatner out of him. Did you get that?
I thought he nailed Brainy.
Yeah.
I saw Brainy. So Wookiee Gambit, that is the pretend you took someone as a prisoner gambit. It has a 56.3% chance of them getting caught. That went to 100% really quickly.
Real quick.
Brainy is horrible with percentages. I'm just going to let you know how that works.
But bad Brainy, I have a feeling, will be much better.
Much better. Much better. Much better. Let's get into Ben Lockwood's story. Lockwood finds out everything. Or almost. What did you think about that?
I just how many more disappointments can this guy take before he like just goes off the deep end, which I guess is this episode because
Yeah, I mean, his wife, his father,
His son.
now his son. He's just everything.
And now
rips away
the
from
truth.
him.
And now Lex has been pulling his and Lex didn't make him put on the mask.
yeah.
That's a real thing.
That is-
Oh yeah, that thing you did that you thought made you a man, not actually your thing. Sorry about it.
Everything. They set him up. Lex is the master chess player.
he is.
So did we find this to be possibly a redeeming story arc for Lockwood?
Like he will have redemption out of
Well,
this?
he did not like the fact that Lex was the one behind everything. He really didn't know. Even Lena could tell that.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it was an episode of great performances. And I like watching Sam Witwer, see the wires start firing off, and I loved the scene with him and Otis, where Otis is just like, yeah, whatever, like, yeah, it's cool, everybody wins, it's a win-win-win, and you can just see him like seething.
And then it's like, now that I told you, gotta kill you.
You know how this is, man.
Ain't no thing.
Ain't no thing.
Gotta kill you
And
now.
then even when Otis dies, it's like, that was harsh, bro. You just took out the kryptonite. I don't know if Otis is dead, but he's definitely, whenever Metal
he's just
loses his
powered
kryptonite,
down.
he's powered down.
Yeah.
He's completely powered
He's out
down.
of commission.
Yeah, he's out of commission for the time being. We do get the understanding of paper tigers, and that's the false plot that Lex is planning, where Kasnia attacks, but that's not the end of the story. Then Lex thwarts the attack and looks like the hero.
Yep.
I mean, this is very
Lex?
in character, and apropos. So I suppose it's only fitting.
It's such a Lex thing to do. It's watching this happen and understanding Lex and Lex's character. Lex is the master puppeteer. He's the one always pulling the strings. He knows what he's doing. It would actually not even surprise me if we found out that Lex planned on going to jail just to pull off this plot. Lex is the real 12th degree intellect on this. And Lex Luthor gets that play where, and the concept of paper tigers, the fact that they used that and I head on to that is really very cool. Lena gets a gift on Mother's Day. So not the only Luthor who gets a gift, Lena gets a gift on Mother's Day.
I think it's great that this is a Mother's Day episode, and they just added it
They
in
just
there.
slightly put it
I was
in
like,
there,
They,
yeah.
they threw in the
clever.
fact that Lena's mother, who has always seemed to be harsh and hate Lena, says "I love you" and means it because she has the truth
though.
octopus. In
Of
her.
course she was going to say that. Like that was a given. I had no doubt that
Yeah.
that was going to be said.
Completely doubted it. I thought that there was a chance that she did not love Lena.
And so did Lena.
Yeah, and so did Lena. More so, actually. Lena thought so much that she refused to ask her because she was like, I already know the answer to that. And I guess she didn't.
I mean, this is still going back to overall. I just feel like all of the scenes in this episode gave the perfect amount of attention to each of the characters. You know, it didn't feel completely sporadic, but it also didn't feel overly indulgent.
They
in
all
any,
worked.
You know,
They all worked in tandem with each other to tell the story for the episode. Where sometimes
Yeah.
the episodes will have like little plot lines here and just like, why are you giving us that? And that's a throwback
Exactly.
from when, and it gets convoluted. But this
It's-
episode was just melded together perfectly.
It's almost like they only have one more episode to wrap everything up. It's weird.
really.
What is that called?
Like,
Season finale. That's what we're getting next week. But it's a good thing for Kara to die. We had to have her live through the first part of the show, which was when she got captured to begin with, and she's set up, and she wakes up, and man, they messed with the wrong girl, or did they? That's the guards. She takes out the guards, and then boom, Red Daughter's there with some kryptonite waiting.
in a brunette wig. Which I will just point out that you guys didn't believe me that was her in a wig.
I definitely thought it was that alien chick, or the human chick with the alien snake serpent thing that came out on. It was quick. You know,
I think that's Men in Black. Here's the thing that I thought that it was someone.
just somebody different.
Right, you were.
Yeah, and
Right,
it was,
you
and it
were.
was someone. So I'll take a half point on that. Here we have Kara come face to face with the kryptonite, and of course says, "You've been dealing with it for a couple months. I've been dealing with it for 15 years."
Badass.
Was it? I felt that Red Daughter, I wasn't sure about the timeline. Is she only a couple months old? I mean, I thought
Yeah.
that maybe there was a little more development, maybe.
Well, even still, I think, we're supposed to believe that she's been dealing with kryptonite for much less than Kara because she hasn't been fighting against it,
Sure.
right? You know?
And she has that suit. Why didn't she just turn on the suit?
I
The
guess
suit
she didn't
is some
have it at the
nanite
time.
Technology is just on you.
Supposed to, yeah, but
And
I mean,
it
her
seems like it
face-
would block kryptonite. I feel like that suit is a kryptonite blocker.
Yeah, but I don't think she has been exposed to kryptonite yet. For
I-
her to like realize, oh, you know, I can't be around this. This is
With
gonna
the
hurt me.
amount of kryptonite that Lex had in their training facility, I am under the assumption she has been going through kryptonite training the same way she went through red sunlight training.
I don't know. I just
Yeah, I
sort of
don't-
bought it when she said, I've been dealing with it for longer, that since she was sort of in captivity, that she didn't really have to deal with kryptonite because nobody was
If we
coming after
remember,
her. But,
on the underground, Lex had an enormous amount of kryptonite just laying around, and there would be no other reason for it.
Well, the only time that I think she did deal with kryptonite was when the kryptonite bomb went off. This season?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Was it this season?
And it went into the atmosphere.
Yeah, but like she just like went into a coma and didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't believe that she should kind of know what would happen if she was in front of kryptonite.
I think she knew exactly what to do. She knew enough to stay away from it. She knew enough to have it in a lead box when she presented it to Kara in the first place. And she
Did she though, or was that just Lex telling her, you know, like follow my plans, do this? Because if you notice, Otis didn't follow what Lex said in terms of like don't go back to the safe house.
Yeah, of course.
Never
Freaking
listen-
Otis.
freaking
Otis
Otis.
never listens to anyone.
do we know why Red Daughter is more evolved?
He messed with her genes. He just
in
made
the
her the
sense that
better.
she's man-made.
The answer
in a
is
way.
no.
No, she's
No, we
not.
don't.
She's
We're
Haranel
all asking questions. Yes. So she is a bit Haranel made, and she has this
Okay.
electric power.
You could put two and two
but
together.
it could have been the suit. It could have been the suit.
No. If you look at last episode,
I was putting 2 and 2 together with all the kryptonite in the underground, and I was told I was wrong. So you putting 2 to 2 together with the suit, and if she was genetically made and altered with Haranel, I don't know, because there's 3 things. First of all, Kara was kicking her butt. Supergirl was kicking her butt for the beginning of that fight, all through and through. It took her a little minute to catch on. Number 2, it looks like Lex Luthor kicked her butt too, because it seems like she's dead.
Yeah.
because it seems like she's dead.
Yeah, Lex hasn't been able to kill Supergirl, but looks like Red Daughter's gone. Now, I don't know if she's gone or not. I'm not going to put 2 and 2 together there. I'm going to wait to let it happen. But I will say we did get a lot of Red Daughter this episode, which we've been waiting for. Red Daughter, red flag. She's been stalking Kara. She even has a loft across the street.
It's eerily identical.
Is that part of the plan, or is that just part of her being a fan or a stan?
Maybe a little bit of everything.
Yeah, because she's
Could be a
assuming her
cocktail
life.
of stalking.
Yeah, Zach, you're the calculator. Let me figure it out.
I mean, Lex
Give
had
us 4.
Lex had told her, like, you're going to kill Supergirl and assume her identity and, like, take over and be the Stan that Kaznia wants.
So she just happened to get an apartment across the street and study her and draw her and keep all the stuff that Lex told her to get rid of to begin with?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Looks like that equals 5.
Hey.
She is a stan. She is obsessed with Kara. This is the person who she hates and loves at the same time. She becomes sad when Kara's dead after killing her. What is that roller coaster of emotion? Does she believe Kara or not?
Was she sad over that? I thought she was getting summoned by Lex and, like, something was happening to him where she's like, oh, no, I have to go save him. Little did she know he was getting beaten up.
Yeah, I interpreted it as, oh, heartbeat's done. Farewell. Not completely vindicated for it, but maybe a little bit softened. But then that emotional outburst when she says, no, it's for something going on yonder.
This is not the first time we've seen someone who was sent to kill Supergirl has found an emotional attachment to her. If you remember in season 2, and especially we had the girl with the powers who was sent to kill her, and then was like, oh no, she felt a certain type of way, and now we get it back again. I feel like maybe Supergirl, through her desire to inspire hope, help, and compassion for all, has a way of getting to people.
Like
And
light through a leaf.
And unlike Brainy, who was very unemotional, I feel like Red Daughter was attached and felt some type of way when Kara lost her life. She thought about it, like, I just killed myself. And we're getting...
Oh, and that's right, because she witnessed Alex and her love for her.
Yes. And it engaged because she's been studying this person throughout the whole time. So maybe we'll get more. I don't know. Do you guys think Red Daughter's dead? We saw her being carried in Lex's arms, dead looking.
If she's not dead, she's given a very convincing performance.
But I can't see her being dead. We set all this payoff for this.
Yeah,
so mad.
That was a good fight, but I feel like there's a little.
There has to be a much better fight. That was
What
not
I'm
enough. Or a
wondering-
breakthrough. I need a breakthrough.
Yes.
I'm wondering if Lex thinks she's dead, or if it's all part of his act as well, if they made a deal, if she is playing dead and he's...
And then
in
she'll
on
just
it?
wear a wig and no one will know.
Yeah.
That's possible. I mean, anything's possible when it comes to Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is the hero. How did you guys portray that one?
It was all too quick. They could have given us a little. They could have cut out a different scene and, like, why didn't we get to see that? It was just like, hey, turn on the news, check it out. Lex Luthor just saved the world. Why are we not seeing that? Like, the fight between...
Oh, I mean, I think that's what the next episode is more so going to be about. I think it was
We'll
more
do
like
a flashback so that we'll get to
angle.
see all of it.
Yeah, I think
hope so.
it's like I assumed they made it so quick because we're going to think the event went down one way, and then next episode we're going to find out, oh, it actually happened this way.
I hope so.
I hope so too, because it would be a shame for us to get rid of Red Daughter, not see more of her, not see that fight, and she's dead. Oh man, talk about lack of payoff. And this show right now is paying us off, so we keep going. Let's
So we
play
keep
our
going.
special segment. Who you? That was an owl. For all of those who don't know, Heather, who you? That's where we pick a scene that relates to us the most.
The scene that relates to me the most. Well, I have been told that I rip out men's hearts, so I'm going to go with the whole Otis and Ben Lockwood
Interesting.
scene.
Yeah. I could see you be a heart ripper.
You know,
That's what they call me.
there was this
high
this one time where my heart had stopped as well, and I had to rely on the power of light through grass. So I relate to that scene a lot, actually, because
Talking about
That
ayahuasca?
sounded like a metaphor for something else, Zach.
who
That
knows?
sounded like
It's
something
Mother's Day, not
more.
420, dude.
Oh, that's,
No, I guess the whole little speech that Alex gave about having a sister. Although I do not have a sister, I do have a brother, and know what it's like to have someone younger that you care for. And my heart goes. He's a cop, so my heart goes out to him, and he's on the streets, so.
That's what's up.
I worry for him.
Thank him for his service. Let's go to. I'm gonna have to go with the Brainy. I liked the Brainy.
You liked,
So
it, but
because you
not
like-
what you liked. What did you relate?
I feel like I relate to Bad
Who
Brainy.
you?
Because you're more effective when you're
I'm
bad.
just an effective, logical person. I'm not specifically so emotional, and I don't appreciate that emotional attachment as much as other people seem to do so. And I can understand it. I mean, I actually thought Bad Brainy was way more attractive. If I was Dreamer, I'd be like, oh my god, hi,
Exactly.
how are
Yes.
you? Bad Brainy had it going on. I
Chain
feel like
me to this portal.
his
All
outfit even
right.
fit better. It was a whole thing. It was a much
standing
cooler
differently.
thing. Yeah,
He
yeah,
did
yeah.
something.
It's
Always
definitely
got
a Tehran
deeper.
way
Yeah.
to be. We are always looking for some news and gossip to give you, and we hope to give you some more. As of right now, all we know is we definitely have a different new season coming up.
AfterBuzz TV News.
We have another season coming of Supergirl, and we're going to get much more, especially since this is the last season of Green Arrow. We're looking for Supergirl to take over a lot more space in the Arrowverse, that verse of the universe where it's DC Comics presenting itself on CW. Now, how is this going to play as we go into the future? We don't know. We do know that Hulu is taking a bigger part in being part of these shows, and that could change it the same way that Netflix gives a nice helping hand to a lot of shows that they have as their shows have been ripped out. We will find out, all of us together, but as of right now, fandom is hoping, as we are, that this is what the possibilities may hold. Also on the front of the Supergirl movie, we don't know. So let us know.
We
Let us
just
find out. And if you do,
don't know.
please send it our way. We'd love to present a lot more. Let's talk some predictions. Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Heather Wake, are you pondering or predicting? And if so, which one of which? And what are you pondering and or predicting if they are the ponders of prediction?
I am pondering the prediction of Brainy, Bad Brainy, taking on Lex in but a few quick, simple strategies, and him being the major bad guy we have to take down.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's going
It's not
on
gonna
in
happen,
your
but I was
mind, Zach?
pondering it.
I like that ponder.
For like a 5th season kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Are you pondering or predicting, Zach?
I am predicting. Well, I'm predicting that we're gonna get a little bit more insight into Lex and his schemes, and I'm gonna go as far as to say he did get to modify her genetics so that he can beat her, and that she had a shelf life. Red Daughter had a shelf life, so that all of his plans can come together.
I
to an
am
end.
not mad at that prediction. Now I'm pondering, is Dreamer strong enough to astral project back? What's going to happen when Martian Manhunter and Dreamer go into this other place?
It's a different planet, right?
He's pondering.
It's a transporter.
Yeah, it's a transporter, but is it a different planet or a different dimension?
It's a different planet. I think the only time they spoke about dimensions is when the Flash comes around, and they play that fast, and those when it's just the crossovers.
We'll see how it goes. And also,
We'll see.
thank you. This is my ponder prediction time, Zach. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Sorry,
Thank
I'm
you.
just
Thank you.
I've been away for a while.
Can you stop mansplaining my predictions? Can I just explain what I am thinking in this
Mansplain it.
situation? And I'm also predicting that Colonel Haley comes to an end, and she has a heroic end where she stands up for what's right instead of what is supposed to be.
I like that.
I like that. I like that too. And I'd like to hear what you guys have to think. What's going on in the chat, Zach?
We have
shout-outs.
Elijah Edge Turbo Russ says they might join forces, Lex and Brainy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be dangerous.
Very dangerous, yeah. And they were arguing before about, or not arguing, discussing about whether Brainy is still in love or not, which we talked about. So.
Well, let's find out. Give us in the comment below a yes or a no. Brainy, yes. Brainy, no. Are they still in love? Is Brainy still in love with Nia Null? Let's find out, and I can't wait to watch and read all your comments. We, of course, comment back as much as possible, but feel free to find us as well. Heather Wake, where can people find you if you want to be found?
Heyo, all across the board, you can find me at Batgirl Wake.
And guys, my name is Zach Silverman. You can find me all across social media at Zach with the CH Silverman too.
Yes, you can. And of course, I am Tehran, literally, and I am Tehran all across the board. And also, find me hosting a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows as we talk all about your favorite TV programs. Because guess what? They're my favorite TV programs too. This was our discussion on Supergirl, Season 4, Episode 21, Red Dawn. We will be talking the season finale next week. I cannot wait. Until then, same Supergirl AfterBuzz time, same Supergirl AfterBuzz channel. See you guys next week.
Peace.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.